There have been only a handful of movies that made me feel as much hype as Spider-Man No Way Home did. From beginning to end, this movie is like a love letter to superhero fans, to Spider-Man fans, and just general audiences worldwide. I cannot express in words how great this movie was in so many ways. And today I'm going to review this and analyze all of the things that I saw, because this movie was the product of speculation for many months before. I remember like hearing about this, like fan theories and fan speculations about who was going to show up, like what Spider-Man was going to be like. I even made like 2 reaction videos to the trailers that were released because the hype for No Way Home was unbelievable. And it is finally out. I saw it last night and I was just floored with the quality of everything, and I really want to talk about it. So without further ado, let's go and start with everything that the film showed that I thought was great. So the movie superseded my expectations in every way. I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is all about character crossovers at this point. I think they did a tremendous job by building up previous franchises, like from the first Iron Man movie to today. And this movie is one of those examples like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame that feel just like an event. You know, it feels like something you go to relax, to, you know, be happy, to form your theories and just enjoy the ride from beginning to end. And the movie does all that and more. And I just felt like the movie has a lot of quality. Like No Way Home from beginning to end is just a lot of action, a lot of really powerful scenes that move the plot in new and unexpected ways. I especially like all the new characters, old and new. For example, Doctor Strange is a big part of the story, and that's something I'm going to talk about right now with the plot and how it works and how it did work with especially balancing a lot of things that could have gone wrong in many ways, but I think the directors and the producers did a tremendous job on it. So the plot of Spider-Man No Way Home picks up after Far From Home, the last movie released in 2019. And at the end of that movie, Mysterio, the last villain, revealed Peter Parker's identity to the whole world. So everybody knows who he is, and that's how the movie starts. So, and from the very beginning, I thought the plot moved very fast. There were a lot of fun scenes with this plot line, which is something we haven't seen in a Spider-Man movie yet, where his identity is revealed. It happened several times during the comics, especially during the Civil War storyline, but this is the first film it worked on. The first time it worked on a film, and I really enjoyed how it was executed, especially with some unexpected characters that turn up, and when you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, after the identity is revealed, Peter Parker goes with Doctor Strange in order to reverse everything through a spell, and I liked Doctor Strange's role. To be honest, he is one of my favorite characters in the whole franchise and the whole MCU, because I think he is really well written. I think his abilities are amazing. He's kind of like an Iron Man substitute at this point. I think he's great. Like, he's magic and Iron Man is science, and they're both fantastic. I really enjoyed his the way like he solves problems. And people complained that it was gonna be like, oh, like, you know, he's too smart for the spell to mess up and whatever. But I don't know. I think it was important for the plot. I think this, like, the ambition the movie wanted to create is something that could have been done without the storyline with Doctor Strange, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So the entire plot of the movie revolves around Doctor Strange casting the spell and bringing back like previous Spider-Man villains. So we got Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus, Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, which was incredible. I think he stole the whole show. I think they both stole the show, both Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe. But it also brings back Sandman, Lizard, and Electro. And Electro was also great. I really enjoyed every single one. I think they were explored in a great way during their movies, their individual movies, but in this one they did a great job, kind of like respecting their legacy, making them feel like characters from the previous movies, but also integrating them into the new universe in a great way. I especially like Peter Parker's relationship and rivalry with the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. They like the back and forth they go between those two characters is impressive, especially as the movie gets darker as the plot progresses. There's some really important scenes that happen that I'm going to talk about in the spoiler section of this review. So I really thought that was really greatly executed, and I think Willem Dafoe is an excellent actor, and it was pulled off really well. So some of the other side characters include J. Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons, who also was fantastic in this movie. He's like an impeccable impersonation of Alex Jones, an excellent parody, and that was just something that like a few people will catch, but I think it was just amazing and really, really funny and a great reference. Also, some of the other side characters will include, well, not, I can't really call them side characters because they play a really important role. It's Ned and MJ, Peter Parker's friend and best friend and girlfriend in the movie. I think they did a good job. It especially explored them really well because this movie is pretty long. It's like 2.5 hours long. So it had a good chance to explore every single storyline, every single character, make them mesh in a great way. And I think they shine in this movie. So now, without further ado, it is time to talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, you don't want to get spoiled, please skip straight ahead to the score or stick around if you want to get spoiled. So don't say I didn't warn you. Let's go into the spoilers now. So Spider-Man's legacy as one of the most important and influential comic book characters and film characters in all of history is something that should never be taken lightly. And this movie introduces two previous incarnations of Spider-Man, played by Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in their respective movies. And the way they were introduced and also explored as characters was really fantastic, and something that I really appreciated was done the way it was. If you see the movie, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. But from like in the moment they were introduced, I was uneasy because I didn't know if it was going to be the same way as before, but it really did feel, I really felt the magic that I felt when I was like a kid and I saw these movies for the first time, especially Andrew Garfield, who I thought was really, really impressive, like really excited to just play Spider-Man one last time. I think that was a really good thing. And it made something that is you never see in a movie nowadays. Something that I haven't felt since the two Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame. It just felt like such a big event that happens every once like in a decade or something. And these movies, what the MCU has accomplished is just something to really admire. The interactions between these three Peter Parkers is incredible. I really enjoyed the way that they like talk about what happened in their respective movies. Like those scenes, especially like the lab scene and their conversations during the final battle, lead to some really funny moments, some heartwarming moments, and I just thought those were great. The final battle, especially, I'll talk about it in a minute, but it was just incredible seeing all three Spider-Man in action. But I think what really made this movie was the conversation they have after Aunt May's death. The MCU's Peter Parker's Aunt May dies in a scene while fighting Green Goblin, and that is one of those scenes that really define the character of the MCU's Peter Parker, played by Tom Holland. I think his Parker is going to be really changed into the future. I think that scene was very, very important, and especially the conversation that Toby and Andrew have with Tom Holland's Parker is one of the most emotional moments I've ever seen in a film lately. So I can't really think of any other moment in a film that has made me feel that way, but I really enjoyed it. And I think the final battle was great. There were some plot points that felt messy, like especially like around the villains and their cures and the way they were bringing them and sending them back to their universes. I felt like that was just jumping the shark for the sake of, having this moment with all these characters. But, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's really a problem. I think it was just great. It was a better thing to just have the fan service and the way these characters interact with each other. But yeah, I really enjoyed this idea of the multiverse. I don't know where it's going to go from here. There's a lot of fan theories, fan speculations. But I really realized like this movie's full of, I want to say plot holes, but just like questions, questions I have about the universe or universes at this point, how it works, how the rules of the multiverse work. And I guess that's something we're going to see in the Doctor Strange movie, which I'm really, really excited about. So that's something to keep an eye out for. But yeah, overall, the movie's fantastic. These scenes just hit in a very different way, especially for somebody who's been a fan of Spider-Man ever since he was born, like me. I just felt like a love letter. So I really enjoyed Spider-Man No Way Home. So overall, I can't recommend this movie enough. I think it's a fantastic cinematic achievement. Everything the MCU has done so far is just beautiful. And this movie is a perfect love letter to Spider-Man fans everywhere, and I really, really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, please go see it as soon as possible. So as a final score, I'm going to give it a beautiful 98 out of 100. I consider it a near perfect movie. I think it was just great in every way. Seeing the other two Spider-Man one last time was just amazing, and I can't recommend this enough. It was a beautiful experience too in the full packed theater, so yeah, that was pretty fun and something you don't see every single day. A great cinematic experience that I can't recommend enough. So anyways, those are pretty much all my thoughts around No Way Home. Yeah, so please go see it. And I guess that's everything for today. So anyways, thank you for watching. Check out my other videos. Check out my other channel, Tomorrow Matters, if you want to learn about technology and a lot of different cool stuff and interesting content. So anyways, I guess that's everything for today. So I'll see you guys later and have a great day. Love you all.